What's up, Taiwan? I'm Tiffany Wong with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te has hailed the U.S. Pacific territory of Guam as a key bridge between Taipei and Washington. He made the comments as he welcomed Guam's governor to the presidential office. As Rick Lauer reports, the pair also championed increased cooperation.
Here at Taiwan's presidential office in the heart of the capital, Taipei, Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te is welcoming the governor of Guam, a U.S. territory in the Pacific. It's Governor Lu Leong Guerrero's first visit to Taiwan since she took office. The island of Guam, about 2,700 kilometers away, is the closest U.S. territory to Taiwan, and it's also home to one of the largest U.S. military bases in the region. While Taiwan and the U.S. do not have official diplomatic ties, a visit like this carries weight. Taiwan depends on the U.S.'s support to counter China, which claims Taiwan as part of its territory and threatens to take by force. The U.S.'s deterrence in this region depends on the strategically located island of Guam.
I share the same belief that we, in collaboration, cooperation, and support, and working with each other, we can gain prosperity, continue our freedom and democracy, and live in peaceful, deserving life.
Lai and Guerrero highlighted shared Austronesian roots, cooperation in healthcare and education, and said they plan to boost tourism and flights between the two islands. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te has made bolstering ties with the Pacific a priority of his presidency. Last year, he spent a week visiting friends and allies there, including Guam, touting shared histories and values. This visit, another demonstration of how Lai is looking east towards the Pacific as he counters China's claims over his country. Eason Chen and Rick Lauer in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A growing number of women are enrolling in Taiwan's military schools as the number of men signing up shrinks. In some courses, there are now more women than men. John Van Trieste takes a look at this trend.
Women like these are growing more visible in Taiwan's military. The trend started in 2023 when the first women reservists started training, and it could be spreading to the officer corps. The number of women enrolling in military academies is growing relative to men and relative to expectations. This year, National Defense University hasn't followed its normal gender quota for admissions. Its engineering, political warfare, and management tracks all have more women and fewer men than expected. This isn't to say there's a gender balance across the board. Men outnumber women in engineering 2-1. But in one case, the management course, women have overtaken men, overshooting the gender quota by 210% in the process. As lawmakers wonder about this trend, the defense minister says the same standards apply to all students regardless of gender.
为什么男性那现在在报名军校，那会相对于女性少这么多呢？
成绩的一个排序，择优来录取，我们也不认为女性的表现会比男性来的差。
Though it doesn't explain the drop in men's enrollment, one possible reason being floated for women's growing interest in military careers is the fact that it pays. Last month, the military raised pay for base-level officers and soldiers by up to $400 a month. Officials say the move has been especially helpful when it comes to holding on to personnel.
到目前为止，就是报退伍有600多个人抽回来，那不适服的部分也有87个，他已经报不适服，但是在加薪之后，他又把它抽回来。
Though not obligated like men to do military service, Taiwan's women are showing a growing commitment to playing a role in national defense. And what's begun at the bottom of the ranks shows signs of rising to higher levels. Howard Zhang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is seeing a surge in Chinese military activity around the country, including 27 warplanes spotted operating near Taiwan on Tuesday. That comes after the military reported another 34 Chinese aircraft and 9 naval vessels near Taiwan in the 24-hour period ending early Tuesday morning. All of the aircraft entered Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. This area is not Taiwan's airspace, but acts as a buffer zone for defensive purposes. The military also spotted one official ship operating near Taiwan during the same period. The increased activity comes as China carried out a combat readiness patrol nearby. China has increased these types of patrols in recent weeks, Taiwan says it deployed its own planes and vessels to monitor and respond to China's actions. The U.S. and Philippine militaries are holding their annual Kamandag exercises, which this year also includes Japan's Amphibious Rapid Deployment Brigade. The drills bring together more than 4,000 troops and take place across multiple locations in the Philippines. This year's training includes deploying Nemesis anti-ship missiles to the Batanes Islands, the closest part of the Philippines to Taiwan. Several other countries are participating as observers for the first time this year, including the Netherlands, Bahrain, Canada, and New Zealand. The training follows a series of recent Chinese Coast Guard clashes with Philippine vessels in the disputed South China Sea and Chinese live-fire exercises around Taiwan. A 53-year-old man is in custody after a car plowed into pedestrians in the English city of Liverpool, injuring dozens. Hundreds of football fans were celebrating Liverpool FC's Premier League victory with a parade when the car drove into the crowd. Officials in the city say 27 people were hospitalized following the incident. 2 of them are in serious condition, including a child. Elections for the next chair of the main opposition Kuomintang are set for later this year, and speculation is growing over who could challenge incumbent Eric Chu. Cadence Kronta has more.
Months before Eric Chu's term as head of Taiwan's main opposition Kuomintang party is set to expire in October, speculation is mounting about who could take up the party's top spot. On Monday, Chu told the United Daily News that he's looking forward to a smooth handover, an indication that he might be stepping down. He has not endorsed anyone else, but has said there are currently 4 outstanding KMT mayors. And he said this about Taichung Mayor Lu Xiuyan.
从大家每一次提到卢秀燕市长的时候，我都是很好非常欢迎诚挚欢迎。那我的心情就是希望能够顺利交棒。
Lu's name is often floated as a potential candidate, but she has not yet indicated whether or not she will run. When asked, she said this.
大家都知道，上班时间不谈政治，不谈选举，哈，谢谢大家。
There are a few others who have already declared their candidacies, including former Zhanghua County Magistrate Zhuo Boyuan, as well as the head of the KMT's Sun Yat-sen School. But one of those candidates has already said if Lu runs, he would support her instead.
卢市长如果出来选党主席，我觉得是众望所归啦，我会支持卢秀燕，但是他还没有决定，所以我不方便做任何的表态。我们要尊重他。
Other KMT mayors were also asked about the election. Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan'an avoided the question, while the mayor of Taoyuan said this.
我想是他个人意愿，我们当然尊重啊。我想他应该在意指这个卢秀燕吧。
With the election still months away, there's still room for things to change. Neither candidates nor frontrunners are set in stone. But one thing seems clear, that Lu would have wide support for the position if she decides to run. Lian Lien and Cadence Kronta for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's environment minister says the government is not ruling out the use of new energy sources, but there are still 3 major challenges that need to be addressed first.
在台湾因为我们的地理条件很特殊，我们有地震，我们也有断层。那我们核废料到目前为止还没有一个妥善的一个处理。那甚至呢，这个民众的沟通的共识。
Peng Qiming was responding to questions about whether Taiwan might bring back nuclear energy. The country shut down its last nuclear reactor earlier this month, a move that's raised concerns about the country's power supply. That gained even more traction when NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang suggested the government should consider reinvesting in nuclear power during his visit to Taipei. Indonesian authorities have seized 2 tons of crystal meth in their largest ever narcotics bust. The drugs, worth $3 million were found hidden away in 2,000 cardboard boxes on a fishing boat near the Riau Islands. 4 Indonesians and 2 Thai nationals on board were arrested, and Indonesian authorities are searching for a Thai fugitive they believe was behind the operation. It's the National Narcotics Agency's 2nd major bust this month, having seized almost 2 tons of meth and cocaine from another boat off the Riau Islands. French President Emmanuel Macron has signed $10 billion worth of deals with Vietnam during a visit to Hanoi, the first stop of his tour of Southeast Asia. The 2 countries signed 14 deals covering defense, nuclear energy, satellites, vaccines, and the purchase of 20 Airbus planes. The tour aims to boost France's influence in Southeast Asia as the country grapples with threats of crippling tariffs from the U.S. The French president will next visit Indonesia and Singapore. As Macron becomes the first French leader to visit Vietnam in a decade, calligraphy students in Hanoi are reconnecting with their French colonial history. Zalan Shata takes a closer look.
Flowing brushwork. This is how 7 calligraphy students in Vietnam spend an evening each week.
Energetic activities don't suit me. Calligraphy is a way for me to relax after work.
Led by a calligraphy teacher in his own tiny home, they're reviving the origins of Romanized Vietnamese, or Quoc Nu, a writing system first introduced by the French when they colonized the country in the mid-19th century. This writing connects key chapters in Vietnam's history, from early Christian influences to the rise of the Communist Party, leading the country to independence in 1945.
I believe that it's in our blood, a gene that flows in every Vietnamese person, to love their traditional culture. The only difference is that as we grow up, some of us are fortunate enough to find environments where that love can flourish. Others may take on different roles to serve society, but deep down, we all appreciate it.
In the 1600s, after centuries of using Chinese characters, Catholic missionaries created a much simpler Vietnamese alphabet to help people read the Bible. During the 19th century, French colonizers replaced traditional scripts, paving the way for nationalist messages to spread across the country, creating a system that represents the many faces of the Vietnamese language.
Writing calligraphy in Quoc Nu is special because I can still use the techniques of traditional calligraphy. But we can be more creative in terms of color, shape, concept, everything.
Today, the distinctive marks of Vietnamese script do more than guide pronunciation. They tell a story of cultural resilience. Rooted in a colonial past shaped by centuries of change, the calligraphy is a reminder of the country's historic move toward independence. Heng Su and Zalan Shata for TaiwanPlus.
A diving group off Orchid Island has come across a special surprise, an endangered whale shark. These giants of the sea were once overfished, making their appearance these days a rare treat. John Van Trieste reports.
The members of a diving expedition off of eastern Taiwan on Saturday were expecting fantastic views, but nothing quite as spectacular as what they ended up seeing. At 14 meters below the surface, not far from Orchid Island, a rare lumbering beast of the deep approached. The whale shark is among the world's largest fish, but years of overfishing have greatly reduced their numbers, leading to them receiving legal protections in Taiwan and around the world. The appearance of such an unusual creature was a big surprise.
它本来是要游走的，看到气泡它又再游回来啊，它又在靠近我们这边。然后因为它可能本身比较喜欢玩气泡吧，所以它本身它又靠过来。
Some marine life researchers say it's not a total surprise the whale shark showed up in that area at this time of year, when the water warms up and food is plentiful.
它出现的地方的话，应该是这个浮游动物它出现的一个地方，所以就是说它可能是摄食的这样的一个行为，所以可能最近就会常出现，就是说看到鲸鲨这样。
But they say the chances of seeing a whale shark are still relatively slim. So for the 10 or so minutes the 4-meter whale shark played in the bubbles from the divers' oxygen tanks, the group's members had a privileged spectacle indeed. Fu Huahong and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take you to see an indigenous Taiwanese choir called Vox Nativa performing at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. I'm Tiffany Wong. Take care and see you next time.